On my first day of work, I bumped into the CEO. I politely greeted him. The CEO nodded. On the second day, there was a rumor in the company that the CEO had agreed to let me bear his child. And it reached the ears of the CEO's father, our chairman. In the evening, I was dragged by the chairman to their family dinner. Help! Is it still too late for me to escape the earth? John has fair skin and is extremely good-looking. He's young and single. He's the husband of all the women in our company. Well, except me. I'm the only one who wants to escape from him. The farther, the better. John is my nightmare. On my first day at work, I bumped into him and his golden retriever in the company parking lot. I was carrying my breakfast at that time. The golden retriever took a fancy to it, broke free from the leash, and pounced on me like a whirlwind, knocking me to the ground. The sound of fabric ripping echoed. A chill ran down my back. I struggled to look up, and all I could see was fur. Golden fur. John struggled to pull the golden retriever away, then reached out his other hand to help me up. Sorry, I was about to answer the phone just now and didn't hold the leash steady. I quickly glanced at my new dress and pretended to be dead lying there. Actually, I was about to lose my temper, but when I saw his face, the swear words on the tip of my tongue were swallowed back into my stomach. Of course, it wasn't because of how handsome he was. Although he was really good-looking, with red lips and white teeth, and an air of nobility all over him. He was truly from a wealthy family. A Ritterney elite and a new urban tycoon. I saw him in the financial newspaper in my dad's hand this morning. I also saw him yesterday. The screensaver on Emily's phone was his photo. Emily is the personnel assistant in our company. She's his #1 fan. In other words, I can't afford to offend him. I held back my anger, covered my face with my hand, and said, "Could you please take your dog and leave here?" "Are you sure?" John looked at my contorted posture hesitantly. "Don't you need my help?" "Thanks. Really don't need it. Please leave quickly while there's no one else in the garage." John frowned, pulled the gobbling golden retriever up, and left. I covered my face and looked around to make sure there was no one else, then rushed back to my car as fast as I could. My dress was split all the way from the back to the bottom. Even my underwear was exposed. I don't know if John saw it. Just thinking that he might have seen everything, I wanted to die. I wanted John to die. There was only a newly bought bath towel in the car, no change of clothes. With red eyes and trembling hands, I called Emily. "Help! I just transferred money to you. Please buy me a new set of clothes and send them to the company's underground garage. Thanks." Hearing the sobbing in my voice, Emily didn't ask anything. "Okay, wait for me for 15 minutes. I agreed. The tattered dress on me was really uncomfortable, so I simply took it off. Wrapping myself in the bath towel, I hid between the back seat chairs and counted the time. After a while, there was a knock on the car window. Mistaking the person for Emily, without thinking, I opened the car door, grabbed the person's hand outside, pulled him into the car, and then quickly closed the door. The movement was too intense. The bath towel fell off. I quickly reached out my hand. "Emily, hurry, give me the clothes." "Ah. Why is it you?" John was even more shocked than me. He tried hard to curl up his tall body and raised his hands pitifully and innocently. "Just now, the dog snatched your breakfast, so I wanted to compensate you with a new one." In his hands were spilled coffee and 2 squished sandwiches. "I did it. Just now, in a hurry to close the door, I pressed all of myself against him." And now, John looked at me, his face flushed crimson. His eyes glazed over. He had a nosebleed. I opened the car door and kicked him out of the car. "I need to quit." After changing my clothes, I declared firmly to Emily. Emily was preparing to take me to report for duty at the Public Relations Department where I was about to start working. Hearing this, her expression changed. "Don't joke around, miss. Do you know how much effort I put in to be able to work alongside you?" I choked back my words. A wave of guilt washed over me. After graduating from college this summer, I rented a shop intending to open a dessert store. I regretfully trusted the wrong person. My boyfriend of 2 years, Mike, secretly transferred the shop at a low price behind my back. He left only a breakup note and vanished with the money. He also changed his contact information, making it impossible for me to find him. For this shop, I not only blew all my savings but also borrowed a lot of money. In the blink of an eye, I lost everything and was buried under massive debt. I was on the brink of collapse, getting drunk late at a bar, and Emily was the one who stayed with me. Even reporting to the police station to search for that scumbag was handled by Emily. All I did was sign a document in a daze. To help me bounce back, Emily used her position to slip my resume into their company's job applicants. Although I passed the subsequent interviews fair and square, she put in a lot of effort to prevent my extra resume from raising questions. Emily, the CEO, I mean Mr. John, does he usually work with us? Come on, he's the CEO. Emily lit up her phone screen, gazing at a handsome profile photo of John with a star-struck expression. Since I joined, I've only seen him once at the annual review and awards meeting, from across a sea of people and miles away. I couldn't even make out his face. That put my mind at ease. The Wilson family headquarters has 29 floors and thousands of employees. John as CEO must be swamped and wouldn't know someone as insignificant as me was at the company. Even if we accidentally bumped into each other unluckily, if he wanted revenge for that kick, he'd either fire me outright or set up obstacles at work. Either way, by then I'd be able to give Emily an explanation. For now, I genuinely needed a new job. Then let's go up. I regained my spirits. Emily led me inside and added, by the way, Mary, didn't you say you'd make me breakfast today? Where is it? Taken by your crush's dog. I gritted my teeth in silent frustration, but this was so awkward and embarrassing, I didn't want to go into details. I could only apologize. Sorry, I forgot. I'll make it up to you next time, okay? Well, all right then. Emily was a bit disappointed but agreed understandingly. The public relations department was on the 9th floor of the company. Coming out of the elevator, a breeze blew by, and I sneezed violently. Suddenly, I had a terrible premonition. Mary! Mary! Huge news! Emily, a step behind, grabbed her phone and rushed over excitedly. The CEO offended the chairman's wife and got demoted. He's been transferred to the public relations department too. She pinched my arm so hard it hurt. I tried to pull my hand away, but her words shocked me speechless. What? Who got demoted? Can a CEO even be demoted? The chairman's wife is the CEO's stepmother, Emily explained, seeing my confusion. The CEO has always been a figurehead without real power, so being moved to the public relations department isn't surprising. Anyway, rich family dynamics are complicated. Interpersonal relationships in our company are messy too. Everyone bickers constantly like fighting cocks, full of gossip and absurdity. Remember to be extra wary. But Mary, you're so lucky to get close to the CEO right after joining. I'm super jealous. Want me to give you this luck? Speak of the devil, here comes the CEO. Mary, I'm out, you hang in there. Without giving me time to react, Emily's eyes lit up, focused behind me. Then she bolted away. I turned stiffly and locked eyes with John, now in a formal suit and walking leisurely towards me. It's you. John lowered his gaze and swept over my white t-shirt and pleated skirt. Whatever came to mind, his fair face suddenly flushed crimson, red as blood. You've also changed your clothes. President. Hello! I loudly interrupted him. The echo even vibrated the glass. Come on. Don't be such a straight-laced guy, okay? In full view of everyone, if you dare to mention what just happened, I'll definitely drag you to jump out of the window beside us. John Wilson seemed to be startled. He stared at me for a while before nodding and saying, hello. He looked at my employee ID. Mary Johnson, hello. I'm not okay. Not at all. Although John didn't hold a grudge and didn't intend to pursue the matter of me kicking him, somehow I got involved because of him. The head of the propaganda department is a middle-aged, balding man named Song Jun. Emily said that he is the right-hand man of the chairman's wife. Since I entered the propaganda department with John, I was immediately classified as part of the abandoned Crown Prince, John, faction. I'm definitely going to be suppressed by the Empress, the chairman's wife, faction. I asked Emily, is the Wilson family a modern group or an ancient imperial palace? Emily sent me an emoji that said figure it out yourself. But she guessed right. Zhang Jun deliberately targeted Mary and John. He asked us to form a separate group and be in charge of odd jobs. All day long, I ran up and down the building, looking for materials here and sending documents there. I was so busy that I didn't even have a sip of water. John sat on the cold bench all day. A real cold bench. They didn't even provide him with a computer. With great difficulty, I survived until off work. I took out my phone and was about to send a message to Emily. When I opened the chat window with her, my eyes stopped. Emily sent me a short video in the afternoon. On the small screen, the paused frame was the moment when Mary and John looked at each other. A big, pink heart framed our heads, and then Cupid's arrow pierced our hearts. Pfft! I burst out laughing. John, who was about to leave, stopped and turned to look at me. I fumbled to hide my phone but, as expected, didn't hold it steady. It hit the ground heavily. Somehow, the video started playing automatically. It was the scene of Mary and John standing at the elevator entrance in the morning. I don't know which genius recorded it. The angle was amazing. In every frame, Mary and John looked at each other lovingly, with pink hearts swirling around us. It was so cheesy and exaggerated. And this genius removed my original voice. When I shouted President, hello! He pinched his throat and shrieked in a pretentious and over-the-top way, President. I want to have your babies. Okay. Mary, let's have babies. The video ended. I was done for. Cause of death, social death. John bent down and picked up my phone. I thought he was going to hand it back to me, but then I heard the familiar background music start playing. He played it again. I seemed to hear a soft chuckle. Low and full of amusement. But when I looked up, John still looked as elegant and noble as ever, with a straight posture. His long, bamboo-like fingers tapped on the screen a few times before he handed the phone back. I deleted the video. I took the liberty. I'm sorry. It's okay, I pretended to be calm. I was going to delete it too. Well, John waved. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Oh, no, it's goodbye in the world. I'm quitting. I really can't stand this lousy company for a single second. Trembling with my fingers, I typed in the chat box, Emily, I'm quitting. Right now. Immediately. Just as I was about to click send, a message suddenly popped up at the top of the screen. It was from a certain bank, reminding me that the repayment date was coming up in a few days. I gritted my teeth, deleted the original text in grief and indignation, and changed it to ask, Emily, where did the video come from? After 7 years of friendship and being together day and night, I know Emily better than anyone. With her skills, at most she can use a certain photo editing app to PA photo. Making short videos is not her forte. Moreover, the voice in the video with that affected tone was obviously a man's. I'm going to find him out. I'll make him regret having hands. Emily never replied to my message. In the evening, I couldn't hold back and called her, but she didn't answer. She only texted back later saying she was busy. I had no choice but to give up resentfully. The next day, it took all my courage to pretend nothing had happened and step into the company. Countless pairs of eyes fell on me. I guessed in grief and indignation that the short video had probably spread throughout the entire Wilson family's group. As it turned out, my guess was right. When I went to the 28th floor to deliver materials, the chairman's assistant greeted me with a smile. Thank you, Miss Johnson. The chairman's assistant, equivalent to a high-level executive of the Wilson family's group, would normally never know the name of a small fry like me. Especially since I had only been on the job for a day and a half. I forced a smile and politely replied that it was my duty, then I was about to leave. Miss Johnson, the chairman's assistant called me from behind. Do you have time after work today? What, did he want me to work overtime? I looked at him warily and said, probably. Then please wait for me after work. The chairman wants to see you. I blurted out, did the chairman also see that video? The chairman's assistant nodded with a smile. Just let the world be destroyed. This damned world. Maybe my dad is going to throw a $5 million check at you and tell you to leave me, John said. Back in the publicity department, I found John and asked him to explain it to the chairman. But he said something like that. He looked serious. I almost believed him. If the chairman was willing to spend $5 million on you, would you still be sitting here? A son who has fallen out of favor is probably worthless in the chairman's eyes. John curved his beautiful eyes and said, "You can give it a try. He has more than enough money. $5 million is just a blink of an eye for him. I never thought you were such a CEO. Instigating an outsider to swindle your family's money. But, I was damnably attracted. $5 million. How many years would I have to work to earn that much money?" As it was getting close to off-work time, I took the time to go to the restroom and put on a heavy makeup, perfectly transforming myself into a vulgar and coquettish woman. One who obviously didn't match John. When John saw me, he smiled so brightly that his eyes seemed to hold a galaxy. "If my dad really throws money at you, just take it without worry. Just treat me to a meal later. Do you believe I'll run away with the money?" At 6 o'clock sharp, the chairman's assistant came to the publicity department on time. He nodded to John with a smile and then looked at me. I hurriedly grabbed my bag and stood up. Taking the private elevator down, I spotted a black luxury car at a glance. A driver in white gloves opened the rear door and gestured for me to enter. This car cost more than my life, so I figured they had no reason to trick me. I sat down boldly and at ease. Forgive my lack of worldly experience, but the car was unbelievably comfortable. I dozed off without realizing it. When I woke up, dazzling lights surrounded me, with 7 heads gathered around. Like 7 children crowding around their grandpa, my eyes widened in shock. "Mary is awake. Hurry up. Music. Music. Chef. Serve the dishes." Soothing, melodious music started playing. I turned my head in confusion and saw a full orchestra seated in the corner of the hall. Several waiters in tailcoats, led by a chef, carried dishes like a lavish banquet and laid them out one by one on an almost endless dining table. Then, everyone lined up in 2 rows, smiled at me, and gestured for me to take a seat. "Mary, sit. Please sit. Take the seat of honor." I bolted. This had to be a dream, right? Definitely a nightmare. A terrifying one. I needed to get home. But with a sudden woof, I was knocked over again. In my vision was a familiar golden retriever. Braced for pain, I suddenly felt a tight grip around my waist as someone swept me into their arms. A clean, masculine scent hit me. It was John. "Are you all right?" he asked. "Do I look all right?" I gritted my teeth, seething with rage and on the verge of a breakdown. Yet everyone around stared wide-eyed at us, including the chairman, the chairman's wife, and another 5 people who resembled each of them. I snapped back to reality. This wasn't a dream. And now I wanted to escape even more. Where can I buy a ticket to Mars? Escaping was impossible. Under the watch of the Wilson family members, I sat rigidly at the far end of the table. "Mary is so beautiful." This was the chairman's wife, rumored to be coveting the throne, scheming to overthrow the entire Wilson family and become empress herself. Right now, she beamed kindly at me, her eyes crinkled with laughter. No wonder John has been so hung up. "Mary, first time meeting, we didn't know what you'd like, so here, everything in here is yours." This was the chairman, rumored to be a muddle-headed, clueless monarch. He waved his hand, and 2 bodyguards brought over a safe. Inside were gold bars, gems, jade. Priceless treasures piled together like cheap flea market goods. The dazzling shine almost blinded me. "This stuff is worth only $5 million at most, a bit shabby, really. Brother, sister-in-law, be more generous." My legs turned to jelly. John caught me, shooting an annoyed glare at the others. "You scared her. I told you not to put on this phony pomp, not to give her such expensive gifts." I couldn't hold back. I secretly pinched the soft flesh at his waist. Not bad, pretty good texture. But when he looked at me puzzled, I gritted my teeth in a whisper, "What is all this?" Just meeting the family. Oh, no, they wanted to see you. Why would they want to see me? Facing his deep gaze, I suddenly didn't dare ask. At the Wilson family estate, I spent an hour and a half feeling like I was sitting on pins and needles, each second dragging like a year. At last, I found an excuse to escape. Of course, I didn't dare to take anything. No, I really didn't dare. After all, even a single item here was worth at least 3 years of my life. John offered to give me a ride, but I opened the door to my Honda Civic right in front of him and sped off. When I got home, my dad was sitting in the living room reading a book as usual. I went up to him and pressed him, "Dad, be honest, are you some top billionaire's illegitimate child who got lost out there?" My dad glanced at me gloomily and said, "Only in your dreams, maybe." I went to the kitchen to find my mom. "Mom, tell me the truth, did you abandon your family's fortune to elope with this poor guy Dad, some heiress from a noble line?" With a flick of her hand, my mom sent a carrot whacking me on the forehead. "Go to the balcony and pull 2 scallions." Oh, apparently not. Our family is just ordinary. I couldn't have met John before, no past feelings to rekindle, and he couldn't be blind enough to fall for me at first sight. So I was overthinking it. What happened tonight was like Cinderella stumbling into a fairy tale, definitely not some awkward soap opera about meeting the in-laws. I brought the 2 scallions to the kitchen, and my mom suddenly asked, "Mary, is your friend, Emily or whatever, dating someone?" I froze. No, she's always been single. Emily once said that after seeing an absolute standout like John, ordinary men couldn't make her heart flutter, so she'd never dated. I saw her with a man today when I went grocery shopping. He seemed like your college classmate too, didn't you mention him? Something like Mike? A chill shot from my feet to my brain. Michael Brown. Yes, Michael Brown. You showed me his photo. Are those 2 dating? I saw them holding each other and kissing in public. I couldn't hear what my mom was saying anymore. My mind was blank. My eyes stung. Emily was my senior from high school. I met her when I was a freshman and she was a senior. We hit it off personality-wise, and we stayed in touch after she went to college. Later, when I got accepted to her university, she introduced me to Michael. After spending some time together, I thought Michael was really nice, gentle, patient, and handsome, so I agreed to be his girlfriend. But I'm a bit conservative, and at most we'd hold hands, we didn't do anything else. I planned to tell my parents about him after graduation, so I'd bring him up at home now and then to build goodwill ahead of time. But then, I fled back to my room. Tears fell uncontrollably. I took time off to go to the police station and check my case file, only to find the final decision was no further action. I signed it. Back then, Emily said the police would give me justice, that scumbag Michael would pay dearly, and that he'd definitely have to compensate me for all my losses. She said she'd handled everything, so I signed. I squeezed my eyes shut in humiliation. Shaking with anger, mad at myself for misjudging people, even madder for trusting others too easily. Forcing down the pain, I went back to work. The receptionist flashed me her bright smile. "Morning, Mrs. Wilson." I stumbled, nearly tripping on flat ground. What was she calling me? Mrs. Wilson? The president's wife. The receptionist pulled out her phone, where a different short video was playing. It showed me at the Wilson family home, being knocked down by little Seven, then held by John. Whoever edited this had added a white veil on me, photoshopped groom over John's head, and set it to "Today I marry you." If I weren't the one it happened to, I'd think John and I had already held a wedding. Hands trembling, I added the receptionist on WeChat, sent the video to myself, then rushed to the 9th floor. "Was it you?" I flung my phone down in front of John and demanded. John looked utterly innocent. "Not me." "John," I struggled to hold back my rage, "I'm not stupid. That video from yesterday with the childbirth scene could be explained as a random shot by someone else at the company, but in the Wilson family residence, there couldn't have been anyone besides me from the outside. Whoever filmed this had to be someone from the Wilson family." But John still denied, it really wasn't me. I had no idea beforehand and didn't know there would be follow-up. I got my phone back, turning red with anger. My boyfriend and best friend betraying me hand in hand is bad enough, but to be bullied like this at work. The thought of resigning flashed through my mind again. Despite the heavy debt, I'd rather sell my car or swallow my pride and ask my parents for help than stay here and suffer this humiliation. I'm not lying to you. It really wasn't me. Seeing that I was about to cry, John seemed flustered. I'll prove it to you. He quickly dialed a call on his phone and put it on speaker. Hey kid, why are you calling? The call was answered quickly. It was the chairman's voice. Dad, didn't I tell you yesterday not to meddle with Mary and my matters? You've seen the new video, haven't you? Lou's assistant edited it quite well this time. It looked very convincing. The chairman's voice sounded smug, like a grade schooler who'd gotten some candy. Lou's assistant is the chairman's assistant. But Dad, spreading rumors like this will trouble Mary. How is this spreading rumors? You've secretly liked her for years, and now that you've finally met her, you're too scared to pursue her. I'm helping you. John forcefully hung up the phone. His ears turned red, and he lowered his gaze, not daring to look at me. I'm sorry, he said. We were stunned for a while before I found my voice again. Have we met before? John took out his wallet, pulled out a photo from it, and handed it to me. I looked at it and was speechless instantly. The photo showed two round, chubby kids. The girl pinched the boy's chubby face, and the boy pinched the girl's plump ears. They faced each other with tears, smiling innocently and happily. Yes, the girl was me. I was born a fat baby. By the time I started kindergarten, my mom, I don't know what got into her, insisted I lose weight, forbidding meat, snacks, or even sweet fruit. That was torture. Back then, there was a boy in class who was even fatter than me, from a well-off family. Somehow, his little backpack was always full of snacks. I was starving and set my sights on him. I planned to snatch them openly at first, but as soon as I approached, he shared his snacks willingly. I was so touched that I announced I'd protect him forever. In class, I could bully him, but no one else could. He was grateful too, hiding more snacks in his backpack, and most ended up in my stomach. 3 years later, at 6 years old, I turned into a ball. When I learned we had to part ways, I grabbed him and cried desperately. He cried too, and soon the whole class was crying. The teacher consoled us, saying we'd still be together when we started elementary school, so we finally smiled. That photo was taken then. Why do I remember it so clearly? Because when we entered elementary school, we were desk mates again. For 6 whole years, our weight always grew faster than our height. I was fat, he was fat, everyone was fat. Until middle school approached, and he said he was moving overseas with his mom, never to return. I was heartbroken for ages. Who knew he not only came back but got skinnier than me? You used to, I clutched that embarrassing memento, not wanting to return it, not go by this name. My parents divorced when I was little. I lived with my mom and used her last name. After moving back here, my household registration switched to my dad's side, and my current name follows the family traditions. Mary, you can still call me John like before. Even with that, I struggled to match him to that chubby figure from my memory. Just give me a minute. All right, John smiled, his gaze dropping to the photo in my hand. Mary, I printed multiple copies of this photo. Destroying it won't help. Give it back, please? Okay. I reluctantly handed it over. Though I badly wanted him to destroy all copies, after so many years apart, the gap in our status made me too shy to ask. I sorted through the confusion. That rumor-spreading video was ordered by the chairman, filmed and edited by Lou's assistant, then circulated at work, all to help John pursue me. John is my childhood sweetheart. He likes me. He's liked me for many years. So last night, was it really like meeting the in-laws for the first time? I felt dizzy, as if struck by unexpected good luck hitting my forehead, with a heart full of unreality. My phone dinged with a new message. I glanced down and saw it was from Emily. She asked if it was true I had hooked up with John. I picked up my phone and almost shot back asking when she had hooked up with Mike. But confronting her now would be too easy for her, and the money Mike had taken off with would be hard to recover. I couldn't tip her off, so I had to hold back and at least trace the clues to find Mike first. So I replied that we should grab dinner after work to chat face to face. Emily agreed and quickly sent a location pin for a restaurant. It was a newly opened Western place with solid reviews, and the prices were shockingly high. Emily sent a smiley emoji, saying the dinner could count as repayment for the breakfast I'd promised her. I let out a cold laugh and didn't respond. She must have assumed I agreed. After all, since we met, she'd always found excuses to make me pay for meals out. I didn't mind back then because I'm a local with connections and resources. I started earning my own money after college, though my income was spotty. I was financially independent, having even taken out a loan to buy a car. Emily moved from another province, coming from a poor family with tight finances, and I pitied her, not wanting to add to her burdens. Not only did I pay for our shared meals, but I also used the sister outfit's excuse to buy clothes, bags, shoes, and more for her whenever I got them for myself. So she naturally forgot that I'm now broke, saddled with debt, and utterly unable to afford this inevitably pricey dinner. When work ended, things got complicated. John looked a little shy as he asked me, "Mary, is it convenient to grab dinner tonight?" I hesitated but shook my head. It wasn't convenient. I had plans with someone else. Instantly, the spark faded from John's beautiful eyes, but he persisted. "Then how about I drive you? I'll be your chauffeur." "Mary, I know our separation has made things awkward. Give me a chance to get reacquainted, just as friends." At this point, refusing felt ungrateful. But he really shouldn't appear with me in front of Emily. With a soft sigh, I briefly explained my situation with Emily and Mike to him. To my surprise, John perked up and grew energized. "If that's the case, you should bring me. Didn't you say Emily's the jealous type? If she finds out you met someone like me with her help, she'll be pushed over the edge and go find that guy she stole, Mike. Then you can track him down and demand your money back." He was right, and I had no rebuttal. Seeing how serious he was, I decided to take him along. Emily was already waiting by my Honda Civic. When she saw me and John together, her face instantly darkened. "So you two are really together?" Before I could respond, John grabbed my hand. "Hi, I'm John, recently upgraded to Mary's boyfriend." Emily teared up on the spot. She genuinely liked John, not just for his handsome face but for his privileged background. To her, John was like a distant moon she thought ordinary people could never touch, yet it had suddenly fallen into my arms. "Mary, isn't your friend going to congratulate us?" After I sent him to the passenger seat, John buckled his seatbelt and goaded Emily. I glanced in the rearview mirror to see Emily's jealousy nearly palpable. She forced a stiff smile. "Of course I wish you well." John wouldn't let up. The whole ride, he fussed over me with gentle questions. Was I tired? Should he drive? Did I want bubble tea or coffee? He'd hop out to buy it. At a red light, he took my hand and kissed it softly. Emily was on the verge of tears. I blushed myself. "Stop messing around." John chuckled with a grin. John, a CEO with so much dignity, was overjoyed like a fool. I started to believe he truly liked me. He wasn't acting, he genuinely seemed delighted just being with me. A table had been reserved in advance at the Western restaurant. When ordering food, Emily deliberately chose the most expensive dishes. She clearly didn't like seafood, but she ordered a whole bunch of it. When the food was served, she suddenly exclaimed, "Oh, Mary, I forgot that Mike broke up with you a couple of days ago." I habitually ordered a lot of the seafood he likes. She was speaking to me, but her eyes were fixed on John. I smiled. Was she trying to become a master of feigning innocence? John also smiled, but his words were laced with sarcasm. Suffering from amnesia at such a young age, Miss Davis should eat more brain-boosting food. He didn't mention Mike at all. Emily couldn't keep up the act any longer. "I'm going to the restroom." I noticed that she was holding her phone. After a moment's thought, I followed her. As I expected, Emily went to find Mike. Instead of calling him, she had him come to the Western restaurant. Mike lowered his voice, but his angry tone was nothing like the gentle and refined person I remembered. "Emily, are you crazy? With Mary here, you still had me come here. What if she finds out that we've been conspiring to cheat her out of money? Mary's in love. Her boyfriend is the president of our company. You just saw him, right? President Wilson is very rich. Mary won't be short of money in the future. She's so stupid. Don't you want to swindle some more money from her? Emily's voice was terrifyingly cold. I clenched my fists, trying to smile, but my eyes welled up with tears first. Emily was right. I was indeed stupid, so stupid that I thought the two wolves in sheep's clothing around me were sincere. Good Emily, quickly teach me how to keep deceiving her. I still haven't paid off my online loans. I'm at my wit's end. Mary is soft-hearted. Go back and beg her. Tell her your real situation and say that you still like her and want to get back together with her. I understood. Emily didn't want to collude with Mike to cheat money at all. She was so angry that she wanted to call Mike out to break me and John up. I stared coldly at the recording on my phone screen, saved it, and was about to go out and confront them when someone rushed over faster than me. He punched Mike hard in the face and then glared fiercely at Emily. It was John. He rubbed his hand and domineeringly said to them, "Don't even think about fighting back. I advise you to get ready quickly. My legal team is on the way." After saying that, he came back and put his arm around my shoulder, forcing me to turn around. This Western restaurant belongs to the Wilson family. They can't escape. Don't worry. Leave the rest to me. I relaxed and left with him. Just cry if you want to. When I was about to fasten my seat belt in the car, John in the driver's seat suddenly pulled me into his arms. Do you remember when we were in the senior kindergarten class? One morning, I brought you 2 drumsticks. But then someone bumped into me, and the drumsticks fell on the ground. You cried so sadly at that time. The teacher thought I had bullied you and even scolded me until I cried too. I had forgotten about this incident, but when he mentioned it, I had a vague memory of it. Just like then, tears welled up from the corners of my eyes one by one. His gentle voice rang in my ear. Mary, you'll have many, many drumsticks in the future. It's okay. I'm here. I'll always be here with you. I sued Emily and Mike for fraud. The scattered expenses such as the store transfer fee, rent, and decoration added up to almost $150,000. The amount was huge, and the evidence was conclusive. I won the lawsuit. Besides repaying me the full amount, they also got 3 years in prison. Once I got the money, I didn't care about their fates anymore. I wrote a resignation letter and took it to the personnel department, but the personnel manager didn't dare to accept it. Madam, don't make things difficult for us. Whether you stay or leave depends on the president and the chairman. Since the video spread last time, the title of Madam had been engraved in my mind. No matter how much I explained, no one would change their way of addressing me. Thanks to this, I deeply understood how unreliable the rumors in the Wilson group were. Did the chairman's wife want to usurp power? False. Mrs. Wilson was gentle-tempered and kind-hearted. She was only interested in jewelry and didn't like management at all. Was the president unloved by his father and stepmother? False. The chairman scolded him on the surface but loved him in his heart. Mrs. Wilson regarded John as her own son. In fact, she was afraid of hurting his feelings, so she hadn't had a child of her own for so many years. Was the president exiled to the publicity department? False. It was John who voluntarily went to the publicity department and put himself in a marginal position. The publicity department head thought he was there to take his job, so he gave John a hard time. As a result, the publicity department head was no longer with the Wilson group. I asked myself and thought that I was no longer suitable to stay. So I wanted to resign and continue to run a dessert shop. Who would have thought that the personnel department wouldn't approve my resignation? Disappointedly, I took back my resignation letter and decided to have a talk with John. So I pressed the elevator button to go to the 28th floor. After regaining his position as the president, John had returned to work here. When the elevator door opened, John was standing outside, smiling at me. Mary, welcome to my world. What the hell? John motioned for me to look at the paper in my hand. I lowered my eyes. Good grief. The HR manager had replaced my resignation letter with a transfer notice. I, Mary, had been promoted to the president's assistant. I took a step back and tried to run, but was immediately grabbed by the hand by John. Mary, since you're here, don't even think about leaving, he said. I'll ask again. Where can I buy a ticket to Mars? Waiting online. Urgent. On the first day of moving to the 28th floor to work, I wanted to quash the rumors about the Wilson group. I was itching to completely delete those 2 videos that spread rumors about me and John. As the saying goes, a fox borrowing the tiger's might. Taking advantage of John's influence, I had to destroy this embarrassing history. But before I could even start, I noticed John secretly smiling while holding his phone. I leaned in for a closer look. Good heavens! What he was watching was exactly one of the videos I wanted to destroy. Mr. Wilson, I gave a soft cough and put on a professional fake smile. John's hand trembled, and his phone hit the desktop. I immediately sensed something was wrong. I picked up his phone, and my vision went black. That day, he said he was very sorry for deleting the videos on my phone without my permission. He did delete them, but only after forwarding them to himself. Mary, I was wrong, John apologized quickly, but then snatched his phone back before I could delete the videos. I just think the videos are interesting. I was utterly speechless. What's so interesting about something fake? John's eyes lit up. Then let's shoot something real. Right now. What? So you 2 finally decided to get married? Before I could say a word, a loud voice came from the side. It was the chairman. Behind him were Mr. Lou, the special assistant, and many key company employees. Mr. Lou, hurry! Go and bring the Civil Affairs Bureau here. I really couldn't clear my name no matter what. Oh well, fine. I'll just get married. I won't struggle anymore. Although he's a so-called husband created by rumors, it shouldn't be that bad.